Hi, I'm Greg Studley, author of the book, A Guitarist's Guide to Improvising with Knowledge, and developer of the website improvisingwithknowledge.com. This is the first episode, and we're going to cover the minor pentatonic scale shape E1. All exercises and examples we're going to cover today are available for you for download on the website. We're going to split this episode into three separate parts. First, we're going to cover the natural notes across the E string. Secondly, we're going to work on the minor pentatonic scale shape E1. And finally, we're going to work on how to use this scale for improvising over a minor chord. We're going to first start off with the natural notes across the E string. The main reason you want to know these notes is because this is where your roots are going to be located for your scale. So here's a diagram of all of the natural notes across the E string. You can notice that E and F are right next to each other, as are B and C. This is going to be uniform for any string that you play on, so it's a really good element to memorize. Here's the exercise that you can use that takes you up the E string and then back down, naming all the natural notes. Your best bet is to name the notes as you're playing and to see if you can use just your first finger. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, C, D, A, G, F, E. We're now going to move on to the minor pentatonic scale shape E1. The minor pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale that can be used for improvising over minor chords. It's a great scale to use because there's very little dissonance between the chord and the scale that's being used. Works great for introductory improvisation. Here's a diagram of the minor pentatonic scale shape E1. You'll notice there are 3 roots. One is located on the low E string, one on the D string, and your highest root is located again on the high E string. The reason we're calling this minor pentatonic shape E1 is because your lowest root is being played with the first finger on the low E string. You'll be using your first, third, and fourth finger for playing this scale shape. No need to use the second finger. We're going to first apply this to the idea of a G minor pentatonic scale. So here's how you take it. First, you want to find the note G on the E string. That's going to be located here on the 3rd fret. Now this also puts your hand into 3rd position on the guitar. Your hand position is a reference of which fret your first finger is going to be playing. So for playing a G minor pentatonic scale, hands in 3rd position, your low root is on the first finger, the note G. We're going to start by playing the scale from the low root up to the highest note, and then all the way back down until we reach our low root again. We're now going to take another exercise that actually can move this shape to different locations on the neck. We're going to take this minor pentatonic E1 scale and move it starting from our low E of our E string up the natural notes of the neck. So we'll start off with an E minor pentatonic scale, which is best played in 1st position, means you'll also be using some open strings. From there we're going to move to an F minor pentatonic scale, 1st position, then a G minor pentatonic scale like we just played, in 3rd position, an A minor pentatonic scale in 5th position, and finally the B minor pentatonic scale, which is in 7th position. You can also practice this exercise from high roots if you get very comfortable with it. feel like you have a strong understanding of how this is now a movable shape across the neck, it's best to try improvising with it. For improvising, the best thing to do is to start with very simple, solid rhythms, nothing fast and sloppy. Much better to just play slower rhythms that are going to sound very, very good. You can also keep your root as your longest note while you're playing. The root of the scale is the same as the root of the chord that you're playing, so it's a wonderful note to hold out and make it a long sound. We're going to move this into A minor to play over an A minor chord. This puts our hand into 5th position on the guitar to play an A minor pentatonic scale. So here's an example of how you can use the A minor pentatonic scale for soloing over an A minor chord. I hope this episode has helped to give you an understanding of how you can use the minor pentatonic shape E1 for soloing over minor chords. Please visit the website improvisingwithknowledge.com. There you can download all the exercises and examples that we played today. You can jam along with some of the jam tracks to see if you can solo over different minor chords, and even sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter will give you information about the upcoming episodes that we'll have released, and also information about when the book will be released. Our next episode is going to cover the major pentatonic scale shape E4.